Hey guys, so this probably isn't much of a surprise, but Rekon FPV, the collaboration between me and HCLRC, now finally has a 4-inch micro long range quad. It's the Rekon 4. So as you can see, if I put this side by side with the original Project Micro Long Range that is now 1.5 years old basically, uh, it is very, very similar. It's really based on the same design. There have only been a few tweaks and improvements to the frame. So the frame is really slightly stretched because the original design was always meant to only fit 16 by 16. And well, let's say that this design decision never was super popular. So what I decided to do is to slightly stretch the frame to make more room for a proper 20 by 20 stack and also all-in-one board. So as you can see, it's got 20 by 20 mounts and 25 by 25 millimeter mounts. So it will fit 20 by 20 and all-in-one. And also here the camera mount is different. It is now, while it was TPU on the original one, the Project Micro Long Range, this one now has real carbon plates here, avoiding any jello in the FPV video feed. But apart from that, let's say the Rekon 4 is really the closest thing to the original design and original recipe you will get out there as of today. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the Rekon 4 and all the components it is equipped with. So really had the objective to make this a fully reliable and capable long-range quad, which is why we went for an F7 processor in the flight controller and a 28 amp 20 by 20 ESC. So it's really pretty oversized for this thing, and it also is separate ESCs and FC, so it's not an all-in-one board. All of this, again, is pretty overkill for a small and light 4-inch quad, but we really wanted to make sure that this is a very reliable tool for real long-range missions, especially regarding the ESC and its 28 amp rating, and the separate boards that are much better for cooling and heat dissipation than all-in-one. So speaking of the ESC, you might wonder, if you look at the spec of the Rekon 4, why this is a BL Heli S ESC and not a BL Heli 32. Well, it's quite simply because of the chip crisis at the moment. It just gets more and more difficult to get BL Heli 32 ESCs. It's almost impossible. So you will also see other manufacturers move to BL Heli S quite soon and do the same move. However, my personal impression is that honestly this didn't really affect flight performance in any noticeable way. So it's absolutely fine on BL Heli S, and it's always better to have it in stock with a BL Heli S ESC than to, again, not have the quads in stock. And another thing that is brand new are these motors here. So let's take a closer look at these all new 1404 2000 kV Rekon FPV motors here. So these are, I mean, it's a quite classic spec for this type of quad, 1404 2800 kV. Really like most micro long range quads out there, and they do perform really nicely. They are really specifically designed to match this quad, and they are really designed in a way that makes it as efficient and as smooth as possible. The materials and manufacturing quality on these motors here is absolutely top notch, and let's say they aren't really cheap to make. These are really, really high quality motors, and let's say it's really basically the best manufacturing quality you will be able to find out there that was used for these 1404 Rekon FPV motors that come with this quad here. And speaking of price, let's speak a little bit about pricing. So there are two versions. The analog version, which I'm having here, which is $239. So the analog version really is more expensive than the analog versions that the competition makes. Specifically because, we didn't really want to put cheap components on the analog version just because it is the analog version, and that one is usually used as sort of an entry level model. This has an 800 milliwatt VTX. It does have a really top FPV camera. This is the Rekon V2. So the analog version really is on par with the digital version. It's not sort of a cheap budget version of it. That was really important to me, that the analog also is a high quality product. And of course there is a digital version, $349. So basically what most of these digital quads cost nowadays, with the unfortunately increasing prices of really almost all FPV components due to what I mentioned already, the chip crisis at the moment. So speaking of the camera on the analog version, that's the Rekon V2. So this is a 19mm micro cam, it's not a nano cam, and it does have a large sensor. So this is really a high quality FPV, analog FPV camera. So you will basically have an analog FPV feed that is as good as it gets, and this whole thing is paired with the Zeus 800mW VTX with an MMCX connector. So let's say full power VTX in here with maximum range. Okay, so let's also look at all the other stuff that is on this quad, because obviously this is fully equipped just as it was intended with the original concept. It does have a GPS. The GPS does come with a preset return to home, so this is all ready to go. It does have the independent buzzer here. So even if you crash and your battery is ejected, this thing will still beep and you have a much higher chance of finding your quad. And also, if the battery doesn't get ejected, it will be beeping much louder than if it does it through the ESC and the motor. So really important component we have on here. Then we have, it's a small thing, but I think it's important to take care of these details. The power supply for a naked GoPro is already installed. So you don't need to, take a brand new quad out of the box and already start soldering and adding new power supply wires to run a naked GoPro. It's already on there, and we do sell all these mounts here for naked GoPros, SMOs, and all these types of light cameras. One question I always get, honestly, is whether it can carry a full-size GoPro, and it's something I'm going to test in a separate video. But honestly, just to clarify this, yes, it can, but it's not a very, very good idea. In my opinion, it's much better to take one of these lighter cameras. It just makes much more sense. But getting off topic here, let's go back a bit to the equipment. So another interesting thing, the props. So it does come with, in the box, it does come with the standard Gemfan bi-blade 4-inch props, but it also does come with a set of the folding props extra. Because I really love these props because they make it so easy to carry this in a backpack or attach it to a backpack without having the quad get stuck everywhere. So I really wanted to have those in the box, so it does come with the 1419 floppy props as well, these folding 4-inch props. And also on the analog version, the antenna is detachable. So if you put it in a backpack, you can unscrew this. I mean, this is a pretty long antenna to really optimize the video feed. So if you want to put it in a backpack, you can just take the antenna off. Unfortunately, that isn't really possible on the digital version, because this SMA adapter here just takes up so much space. As you can see, it's really going up to here. So we really need the analog version to be able to do this. But on the analog version, it does come with an SMA adapter, so you can unscrew the antenna to put this all in a backpack easily, even a very small backpack. Alright, so this is really a quick introduction to the Rekon 4. If you want to get all the context and the history that is behind the Project Micro Long Range and everything that led to this quad here, check out the other videos in my channel and in the Micro Long Range playlist I have. It really gives you all the context where this type of quad here is coming from, these light long range platforms. So I encourage you to check this out. If you're interested in the Rekon 4, it's on sale now on the website. The frame will be on there too, without the components, the two BNF versions and everything and all the components. So check out rekonfpv.com if you want to get your Rekon 4. Yeah, that's about it. So thanks guys, thanks for watching the video, and bye bye.